Tonight on the Curse of Oak Island. Here we go. There's one. We got it there. It is, guys. Wow. We must be close to some type of a structure. There could be some treasure just below us. Hey, Lair. Yeah. This is definitely the largest artifact we found here. What, come on. Be something, look at that. It's old Emma. What have we learned? So, right now I am finding something that I was not expecting. There is an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years. So far, they have found a stone slab with strange symbols carved into it. Man-made workings that date to medieval times, and a lead cross whose origin may be connected to the Knights Templar. Today, 6 men have died, trying to solve the mystery, and according to legend, 1 more will have to die before the treasure can be found. Here we go. Core is up, all right. It's gonna go. 60, thank you. That's pretty firm stuff there, boys. Yeah, there's a lot of room yet for something to show itself. Yep. It is the start of a new day on Oak Island for brothers, Rick and Marty Lagina, and their team, one that begins with renewed optimism that they are finally on the verge of solving a 228-year-old mystery. I think it has the possibility to intercept the garden shaft tunnel. It's leading to or seeking in the treasure chamber. Yeah, it may put some answers to that tunnel down there. We don't have enough information in the area. I mean, we don't have a start point. We don't have an end point. No? That's right. We as a group have not explored much up here. This is a plausible location, yet currently the team is drilling a borehole on their strategic grid known as D5N. 26.5? Located several feet east of the mid-18th century structure, known as the garden shaft. It is their hope that this new borehole will encounter a mysterious tunnel that they previously discovered at a depth of 95 feet, a tunnel which is believed to run directly west beneath the garden shaft, and into an area that has been dubbed the Baby Blob, where water tests conducted 1 year ago revealed high trace evidence of silver gold and other metals between 80 and 120 feet below ground. The last year we were able to concentrate and be very confident in the Baby Blob area. That's right. However, when the team met with geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner and his colleague hydrogeologist Dr. Fred Michael, last week the two presented their updated testing analysis, which suggested that the fatal treasure could actually lie buried anywhere within a 20-foot radius. Of the feature, nothing is dissuading us from our opinion that there's an area around the garden shaft where something's being deposited. Oh, that I considered very good news. Yeah. Now, while the team awaits a new permit to deepen the garden shaft by approximately 20 feet, which will also allow them to construct lateral tunnels in order to reach potential targets. Rick, Marty, and the team are looking for any evidence of valuables more than 100 feet underground that might be located to the east of the shaft. The tunnel that goes under the garden shaft doesn't appear in the literature anywhere, doesn't appear in the record. So that's the one I'm most interested in. So we need to keep going. That perhaps could go off to a chamber, meaning there could be some actual treasure just below us. And we're going to find that out this year. Hey, Mike, what do we got? 78. 78. 78. It's going to be a knife. I love this hole. We're in the middle of all of the very, very soft material. And this, to my eye, is relatively soft. What do you think, Scott? There's a lot going on in this area. I mean that we really don't know about. There's a lot of possibilities, absolutely. Yeah. We've seen that whenever we're near a structure. Yeah, we could be coming down on the intersection of the tunnel, for sure. Time's gonna tell. We're gonna do the work. He's gonna find out it. While the drilling operation continues in the Money Pit area on Lot 5. located on the western side of the island. Here it comes. Oh yeah, Marty Legina joins Jack Begley, archaeologists, Laird Niven, Jamie Kuba, and their assistant Fiona Steele, as they continue investigating a strange circular feature. Okay, Larry, what's the mission? All right. We're going to do the big rocks in the interior. Show me. Oh yeah, there's some big rocks in there. You want all that over? Yeah. I don't know why it's filled with rocks, but underneath all those, we think there's that intact layer that we want to get to that will help tell us exactly what this feature is. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Just keeps getting more interesting. Yeah, okay, I can do that. Okay, since the Lagunas and their partner's purchase of Lot 5, 1 year ago, Laird and his colleagues have been mystified by the unique construction of this stone-lined circular depression, especially when it was determined to have a 13-foot diameter, which matched the description of the original money pit when it was first discovered in 1795. However, 1 week ago, the team discovered a piece of pottery that could date back to as early as the 17th century, along with an iron latch, a latch that, when analyzed by archaeologist Emma Culligan, was determined to have the exact same composition as other artifacts directly connected to Sir William Phipps, the 17th century English politician and privateer, who is believed by some to have buried a treasure in the money pit. Around 1687, we have a big rock here, right in the wall. Maybe if you can tickle it out a bit. Oh, I'm sure I can, yeah. Yeah, nice. We got a very mysterious, very old round rock structure, which is still being excavated, but it's full of artifacts with no record of human habitation. And then Laird lets me know that I can do something I am fond of, which is to pull the big rocks, at least off with tobacco. Well, that really helps. And that is going to get the ball rolling really fast. And so I'm eager to do it. Okay, that's it, right? Yep, that's good. Okay, we're starting to see a wall. Maybe there should be another 90-degree corner somewhere over there. That's the hope. So, ideally, we find the base of a nice structure here. It's pretty kind of hard to believe. I mean, this is massive. And yet, not any reference to it. You know it. Yeah, that's very odd. It's quite an occupation for the time, isn't it? Yeah. It was a substantial structure. People weren't here for just a month. Were they? No. No, I mean, we really don't know what this structure was used for, not at all at the moment. Because there could have been some feature here that was older. Yeah. That's why we need to get rid of this stuff. And come down on the good stuff. I think, Jamie, the first thing you work on is to the right, where the rock came out of. Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be my first area of attack, for sure. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm hoping it yields some clues to what we're after. Yeah. Carry on. All right, thanks, Marty. Yeah, thank you. All right, in we go. The ultimate goal is to find artifacts at the bottom of the feature and get a better idea of when this structure was built. We know nothing about it. We don't know who was there. We don't know why they were there, and we don't know when they were there. So this is the first step for us to solving those questions. Oh, hey, Lard. Yeah, you might want to stop what you're doing. Come take a look at this, my friend. This is definitely the largest artifact we found here. I can guarantee that how about that? Oh, wow. Think you can get it out? Oh, yes. Oh, lovely. This is incredible. While investigating the mysterious circular feature on Lot 5, Jack Begley and members of the team have just made a potentially important discovery. That's a big piece of pottery, isn't it? It's coarse earthenware, we call it. Anglo-American ware. Okay, so it's either from England or it's from possibly Pennsylvania. Would have been a large cooking vessel. When do you think that date to so very broadly? Second half of the 1700s, like maybe 1770? Oh yeah. A large piece of pottery that may predate the discovery of the money pit by more than 2 decades. Was it left behind by those who created this feature? or by someone who found it already in place. Cool, you have a bag, I do. It's over in my knapsack. All right, I'll go put it there. Great find. Okay, let's find the rest of it now as Jack Begley and members of the team look for additional clues in the circular depression on Lock 5. The way we go, mate. Okay, less than 100 yards away, Rick Lagina and Gary Trainer are searching an area where they have made some of the oldest discoveries ever documented, not only on Oak Island, but in all of North America. You're about due for a coin. Gary, I owe you a coin. Yes, it's a coin. 1 week ago, Gary along with Rick Marty and their partner, Craig Tester. This is clearly Roman design. Roman Baby unearthed 4 ancient coins in this area, making a total of 5 that have been discovered in the past year. Incredibly, 3 of these coins have been determined by numismatist Sandy Campbell to date between 500 AD and 300 BC, and to also be of Roman origin. Slot 5 is a complete mystery. It's a mystery in terms of the man-made constructs, the kinds of artifacts that have come out of the ground. It's mystifying, gotta come out, 'cause I don't know what it is. Right in the middle, mate. Okay, and kiss it. Sounds a little bit better now. Come on, be something, some kind of strap. And this looks like it. It goes down, like to a point there, and then down there. It's almost decorative, like a decorative strap. Yeah, it could be just something broken out of something else. Yeah. You know, a lot of these straps were around boxes or chests. That would be cool there. You go, I would imagine this is something to do with whatever that depression is. Over there, a strap, possibly from a box. Or chest? Could Gary be correct? That it might be related to the nearby circular depression? Or might it possibly be connected to the numerous Roman coins that the team has found in this area? That CT scanner will give us a good view with this. That point, you no longer have to speculate as to what it is. You speculate as to its purpose. Yeah, the information that Emma and the CT scanner provided might be very highly revealing what it means to the future on Lot 5. You can't argue with the science. It will be what it will be, and hopefully that information connects up to the greater mystery. Let's see if we can rustle up another find. We have got something in this area. Let me just brush the stuff away and then take another swing, right? Not sure what it is, it's this side of that fruit. Oh wow, I think it's here, could be iron. It is iron, chunky iron. Look at that, heck, is that? No idea, heavy? No, yeah, it's heavy. Well, I believe this is some kind of fastener by the look of it. And it could be a rose-type fastener. It's old. A lot of that old hand-forged iron tends to be on the heavy side. Well, we're close to the most prominent feature on the Block 5. Right. If there was a structure, what do you need to put a structure together? But fasteners, right? Yeah, why are we finding bits of iron on lots? Where significant finds are made is very strange, given the fact that iron was a valuable resource, and you wouldn't just waste it. So, what is the explanation as of yet? I don't think we know. And these are the type of things that you show at a carman, and you never know. It could be more than what we believe it is. Adding to the story on Lock 5. Yep, Emma's going to be busy later that afternoon. This is the one, gentleman. This could be the one right here. Hey guys. Oh, hi guys. Hey, what's going on? We're just pushing to 1:08 right now. Marty Lagina and his son Alex joined Crentesta and other members of the team in the Money Pit area from 98 to 1:08. Okay, as the drilling operation in Borehole D, 5N 26.5, has now reached the target depth where they hope to encounter a tunnel and evidence of buried treasure. Now this is really the money stroke here from 98 down 1. 08. We pull that up. I mean, right there, that should have top to bottom or intersection of the tunnel. If there is a tunnel, what we got, Mike? 108? 108? Okay, oh, here we go. You better write. Here, there's 1, we got it. What, we got it right on. Excellent. Wow. 106. Probably, yeah. Yeah, we got it. It's back up higher here, a little bit of wood there as well. Yeah, Rick, you're coming in. Thanks, Mike. Hey, Mike, perhaps another piece. Wow, it's about 1 o'clock. 6.2 meters to that beam. This doesn't in no way resemble soft, tight, dense maroon. Till this is very soft and slushy. Terry is... Is that another chunk? Something there, what's that? Whoa, what's that? Yeah, there's a little chunk of chunk right there. Yep, another good chunk of it right here. Wow, lots of little flecks in here. So we see it kind of a debris trail here. Yeah? Coming down, and we get bigger and bigger as we come down toward trunk. At the bottom here. There it is, guys. We must be close to some type of a structure. And I'm guessing it's probably a tunnel. It's got to be a tomb. Is it the same structure? We're not sure possible in the Money Pit area. The Oakland team has just recovered evidence of a possible tunnel, several feet east of the garden shaft. The question is, could it be the same tunnel believed to run directly below the feature and into the baby blob, where they have detected high trace evidence of both silver and gold? Hi, Rick. How you doing? Hey, of course. Down at that end, going down there. Breathe them. Scott, well, you can see in the score we've been finding wood that really kind of picks up here. To here, you'll notice it's on a pretty good line. With the garden shaft tunnel, which we find over in the west side, Rick, that wood right there matches it. Pretty much exactly. Yeah, this could potentially be our first hit of the garden shaft tunnel on this side. The reason it's likely in my mind that this wood we just found is associated with the tunnel underneath the garden shaft is because it lines up with other hits we have to the west, and it's at the proper depth. This one is a mystery tunnel. We don't know where this one goes. We don't know who did it. We don't know why. I think this thing is proving to be very long, and it's mysterious. Yeah. I wonder if we could rush an expedited C-14 test. Yes, the effort here is about dating. That structure? Does it reflect original work? Or does it reflect searcher work? And if it's not searcher, it could lead to anything. It could lead to an offset chamber. Well, I mean, I think this is a good discovery. This is the first wood we've gotten on the east side of the garden shaft, correct? It's more verification, which makes it really exciting about what Dumos is going to find when they go down. But we have to keep following it, because it could be a tunnel to the opposite chamber that we seek. Could Marty Lagina's assessment be correct? Is it possible that when Dumas Contracting Limited is permitted to extend the bottom of the garden shaft, they will encounter a tunnel that may lead them to the fabled treasure that people have been trying to find for more than 2 centuries? We need to keep going, and I jumped pretty far this time. Like 10 feet? Yeah, we'll get more information the closer we get to the garden shop itself. I agree. Okay, good. Well, let's follow it and see what it is. Okay, let's pick a hole. Sounds good. The following morning. Well, he just pushed in, right? Yeah. He's got 30 feet of core barrel on there as the drilling of a new borehole known as D5. N25.5 begins in the Money Pit area here. He is? How are you? Carmen. Hey, Carmen. How are you? Not too bad. Rick Lagina and members of the team meet with blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg at the Oak Island Interpretive Center. As you see, we've got a bunch of items here that have been recovered from a specific lot of interest. Now you see that Carmen has been invited to examine some of the artifacts that were recently discovered on lot 5 including a 17th century iron latch that was unearthed in the mysterious circular depression. 1 week ago, I'll start with this one here. Because you can see that it's a wedge about 4 inches long, with a ring, sort of the thickness of it, indicates that it's very old. I like to see the new scan on this. Up on the screen for us? Yeah, sure thing. In order to help Carmen examine the artifact, Emma Culligan is presenting an image that she generated using the SkyScan 1273 CT scanner. The device emits X-ray radiation, which can penetrate corrosion and sediment on objects to produce 3-dimensional images of them and their finer details. Does that help you at all? Oh yeah, certainly does. Yeah, you can see it down at the bottom. There was a certain amount of wear onto it as well. And can you turn it around so I can see the top? Yeah, that looks like it wasn't used for repeated use because there's no mushroom. I can see on the top, so it was inserted in whatever it was into and locked. It would be nice to be able to analyze the metal as well. Ella, so the ring bolt's got no modern indicators, and it's got the potassium and calcium content throughout, consistently matching with old context metal. But the most interesting thing about this one is that it matched 100% sensitivity with artifacts from the William Phipps site. Yeah, at least 17th century. Yeah, when William Phipps recovered gold and silver from the Conception, the salvage of the Conception, there is a growing body of evidence that perhaps he came here. We know that Phipps found silver on the Conceit, and I believe some of the treasure from the Conceit was secreted to Oahu Island. Very interesting in 2019. 32nd degree. Freemason Scott Clark presented a stunning theory to Rick and the members of the team. According to his research, in 1687, the English politician turned privateer Sir William Phipps conspired with a high-ranking Freemason named Captain Andrew Belcher to bury a vast cache of treasure in the money pit which they had salvaged from the Conception, a famed Spanish galleon that sank off the coast of the Dominican Republic in 1641, while transporting more than 100 tons of gold, silver, and jewels. I was contacted by Frank White, who he had some archaeological artifacts from the William Phipps birthplace. Since that meeting, Emma and Laird obtained and analyzed a number of metal artifacts that are known to have belonged to Sir William Phipps, and incredibly, the artifact found in the circular depression on Lot 5 is an exact compositional match to those objects. What would that be useful? Well, the wedge part could be used for driving into wood or rock. My guess is it was driven into wood. That could be for many purposes: tying up a horse or an ox, putting logs together, or fastening in a cart together. But you can certainly hoist something or lower something underground, using this if you wanted to hoist something or lower something under the ground. You would do something like that. Well, in the Oak Island Interpretive Center, blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg has just informed Rick Lagina and members of the team that the metal latch found in the circular depression on Lot 5, and which is believed to be connected to the 17th century privateer Sir William Phipps, may have been used to place heavy cargo underground. We have the possible Phipps connection in the metal energy. So I'm not sure what that tells us. Other than that, future continues to be interesting. What I see here is connections to a certain story from 1795. Hoists, block, and tackles. But we do know he was in Nova Scotia. If there was an enterprise conducted here on the part of Phipps, there would be many more objects to find. But we are not done with Lot 5, so it may yet prove to be a very interesting find, perhaps even significant. What's next, Carmen? I think I'll go over to this one here. Now, I gave you a little bit of context on the chunky piece of iron found on Lock 5, and when it first came up, I knew it was old, because it's nice and heavy. I just had a feel like it was some kind of broken tool to me or fastener. It's very old. This is much older. Can we have a scan of that? I need to see the head. The head. Yeah, from what I see there, on the head there. It looks like it was broken end off of something, yeah. It looks to me like it could be some sort of a chisel. Yes, it just could be a tool that could be used for mining or tunneling. Wow. With the size that you've got in your hand, mate. How much bigger would it have been? Lengthwise, it would probably be looking at a foot if it's shorter than that. Again, it might not be long enough to fulfill the purpose of what you wanted for it. Could we see the metallurgist? Jammer? Sure thing. No, modern elements, potassium and calcium. So it's an older metal, that's good. So we got a lot of old fasteners and tools, and more to come, mate. Yeah, I'll go with this one here. Next, it looks like a bow tie. Strap, you can see how you can see the bow tie. Yeah, you can see what's a bow tie. Strap, it was a decorative piece that had decoration to it. So it would be narrow, or wide, all the way around. To decorate a chest. Oh, so specifically chest decoration. Yeah, wooden boxes and chests. Okay, that's exceedingly interesting. Is there a cultural influence? Yes, French, really. Yeah. Wow, this decorative strap indicates earlier French. So, to me, it indicates the French were here first, and then the English, a decorative strap from a chest, one that is not only possibly a French origin, but may also predate the 17th century. If so, who brought it to Oak Island? We found important artifacts that have been French. We can't forget, of course, the lead cross, where the testing has indicated that the lead came from the southern part of France. Yeah, don't get any better than that. It's curious that this stuff is found near an area on the Zena map. That is a French map. That is a possible location for a hatch in 2016. The late author and researcher Zena Halbert presented maps of Nova Scotia and Oak Island, featuring French writing, and which she believed have been created between the 12th and 14th centuries by members of the Knights Templar. This led Zena to theorize that Oakimont had been visited numerous times by the Templars and related organizations such as the Freemasons in order to hide sacred valuables. Is it possible that the discoveries made by Rick Marty and their team, such as the lead cross and the numerous finds on Lot 5, that predate the discovery of the Money Pit offer, mounting evidence that Zena's theory is true? We have long puzzled about the possibility that these French items, the lead cross and Zena's map, were associated with some depositional work. I have always believed that this work on Oak Island, the original deposition work, was started incredibly early. We just have to fill in the gaps more precisely, more accurately, more definitively. But it's very interesting. The artifact you've shown me over the years is very unique. There's artifacts coming out of the boat island that I haven't seen anywhere else. That's the reason for this type of analysis. What we're trying to do is come to an understanding of what the item represents. In terms of the complexity of the story on Oak Island, it's not a simple process. Makes me want to get back to Lock 5 and find some more. Well, let's have it, her. That's why we have a lot more to dig. We have a lot more to excavate. All I can say, Carmen, is thank you. Appreciate it. See you later as the team concludes their meeting at the interpretive center. As long as this borehole stays straight, we should have the tunnel below. Sounds good. Surveyor Steve Guthrie, Oak Island historian Charles Barkhouse, and geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner continue monitoring the drilling operation in borehole D5. N 25.5. He's got something else coming. A borehole located several feet east of the garden shaft, where they hope to encounter a tunnel at a depth of some 105 feet, and more evidence of precious metals. The elevation of the wood that we've been finding in this area matches the wood that we found for the tunnel that goes under the garden shaft. Well, all I'm saying is, I hope we get wood again. Yeah, got a core. This is 98 feet. 98. Let's hope it's a good one. Thank you. Look at that. It gets soft right here. Well, yeah, you can feel it. You can see it. Yeah, you can see it. You can take it and you can just break it apart, different color too. Yeah, what this means to me. When you get these different colors, it's not standard grade tail. It is possible that you're in disturbed ground. To me, it looks odd. It does look odd. Yeah, core coming out. Let's go, guys. Let's say they got a full run. They got a full run. Pretty good. 1 o'clock, 4.5. Well, this is just slush. So this would be the depth of the tunnel, so we might be inside of it. See any wood? Oh, we got a little bit. There's a little bit of wood debris at the bottom here. Yeah, that's wood. Yeah, what we got here is a tunnel. Yeah, so I would say we're probably inside of the tunnel. Right, yeah, very interesting. Oh, we got Craig and Scott coming. Just in time. Yeah, man, hey guys, how you doing? Good you guys joined the party, the right time. It is an exciting moment for the Oak Island team in the Money Pit area. There's the woods. If you look around in there, you can find little bits, nearly 105 feet deep in Borehole D. 5N 25.5. They have once again drilled into a possible tunnel, a tunnel that may lead to the source of the precious metals, which have been detected at the same approximate depth within a 20-foot radius of the garden shaft. I do think this is the tunnel that goes under the garden shop. Everything lines up too well not to be okay. Typically, we've been going out the bottom at about 106. Yeah. So that... I think the next drill, if we have wood, we should have the bottom. Potentially, we'll see. We'll see what comes up. The way this tunnel lays position, it is sure. Pointing towards the garden shaft. It's not one of their searcher tunnels. So, is an original tunnel leading away to a vault? We've got a core coming. The water chemistry is telling us it's a very important area. So we just need to follow the tunnel. Here we go, fellas. What do you got, Mike? 111.5? 111 and a /2. There you go, there's our wood. There's our tunnel right there. Oh yeah, so let's get a measurement on that. Then and see where we're at. Well, 7 to the wood. Roughly that's the zone of interest, right? So this is matching up. Well, yeah, we definitely have the tunnel. I mean, this is a floorboard or a ceiling board that fell down. But it's definitely wood. It's definitely at the interval. We'd hit this tunnel in multiple locations. I think we now have a certainty at the elevation of this tunnel right now. We have suspicions of a target. We don't have a really hard target. And thus the reason to try to follow that line of tunnel detection holes. To understand the direction that the tunnel is taking, because we're going to extend the garden shaft. And there's a possibility that we could put in our own tunnel, and maybe it will help us find the treasure. What about drilling another well in this area? I think that's the best thing to do at this point. Okay? All right? That sounds good. The following morning, what are we looking at and what have we done from a scientific perspective? To understand the importance of these finds in the interpretive center, Rick Lagina meets with archaeologist Emma Culligan and other members of the team to receive her analysis of 2 wood samples that were collected from different boreholes. During the past 2 weeks, the first was obtained from Bahor DN12, which sets to the west of the garden shaft, in the baby blob or possible treasure zone, while the second was taken just several feet east of the garden shaft in Bahor D5, N26.5. So we spent a lot of this year in the Money Pit looking for the tunnel that goes under the guard shaft, and we've been trying to find it on the west side. which would be this piece, and the east side, which is this piece. If it's the same tunnel. And to add that to, we know last year, whenever they're digging the garden shaft, they're taking some samples in the way down. We saw some gold in the wood. We may see something like that, and this something to indicate that we're still close to that source. And right now we're sort of at a stop gate. We've drilled a lot on the west side in the baby blob, and we're running out of room on the east side. So any piece of information she can give us is going to help move this forward, using a device known as an X-ray fluorescent spectrometer. Emma has conducted elemental analysis on the 2 wood samples in order to determine if either contain evidence of precious metals. Well, I think the next turn of events is up to Emma, right? Emma, what have we learned? So you do see a lot of the potassium and aluminum, which is what we're used to seeing. Unfortunately, no gold or silver or tin. But I am finding points with palladium, which is something that I was not expecting, especially at that depth point, 3.9, which is pretty high for a palladium. And the actual geological association, I think Moya would be a better judge of that. Moya, okay, palladium can be found in gold and platinum deposits, so if there is the gold treasure, maybe the gold in the treasure was sourced from a gold palladium deposit in the interpretive center. Rick Lagina and members of the team have just learned that 2 wood samples obtained from a believed tunnel located more than 90 feet deep in the money pit area, and which may run directly below the garden shaft, contain high traces of palladium, a precious metal that could be related to the fabled Oak Island treasure. Is that for both pieces of wood? Yeah, so there is exhibit on both pieces. Okay. Yeah, like it's not what I would be expecting. Right, so there isn't really a platinum deposit like here on this island, obviously. But maybe there's like trace platinum within the treasure. If there is treasure first classified in 1803 by the English chemist William Hyde Wallace. 10 in modern times, palladium is commonly used to produce hydrocarbon-reducing devices, such as catalytic converters for automobiles. However, it has often been associated with jewelry made of gold, silver, and platinum, dating back to as early as the ancient Egyptian era. It's not a common thing that you find, especially around here. Yeah, that's even stranger, though. Yeah, we should also review the water data to see if there's any indication of palladium in the water data. Yeah, platinum might be associated with gold refining, or gold being in the ground. That would be exceedingly interesting to me. We have a piece of wood at an elevation where we have significant interest in. So it's not just a piece of wood. It's a clue, and this clue needs to be followed. This is great information. We have a trace on both that suggests the same tunnel. I think we need to get it dated. So, C14 carbon dating. It's interesting analysis, interesting breakdown, but let's retest and see what happens. And then go from there. We can learn something from this. And it may be highly instructive. Ultimately, data like this will affect what decisions are made regarding the garden shop. Anyway, thank you, Emma. Thank you, as always. Appreciate it. And I think the rest of us need to go back out and do our specified work areas. Okay, thanks everybody. Yep. After another week of surprising discoveries on Oak Island, Rick, Marty, Craig and their team have good reason to believe that they are close to the ultimate breakthrough in a 228-year-old mystery. And while the evidence that they have unearthed shows that the money pit is more complex than anyone ever knew, the mounting clues suggest that they are narrowing in on something not only of great value, but also incredible historic importance. But one looming question still remains. Will a deadly curse that has claimed the lives of 6 men so far stand in their way next time on the Curse of Oak Island? That is an unusual find. You see in the top right, yeah. We get those crazy Roman numerals in the U-shaped structure too. Yeah, I got 7.5 footers tunnel, yeah. It's nice, eh? You don't build a tunnel like this unless you're moving something important. Yeah. We want to take a look down in that cavity. There we go tonight on the Curse of Oak Island. That is an unusual find. You see in the top. Right. We get those crazy Roman numerals in the U-shaped structure too. I got 7.5 footers tunnel, yeah. It's nice, eh? You don't build a tunnel like this unless you're moving something important, yeah? Yeah, we want to take a look down in that cavity. Here we go. Slowly, there is an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years. So far, they have found a stone slab with strange symbols carved into it, man-made workings that date to medieval times, and a lead cross whose origin may be connected to the Knight Templar. Today, 6 men have died trying to solve the mystery, and according to legend, 1 more will have to die before the treasure can be found. Hey guys, hey. Hey guys, how you guys doing? Oh, Peter. With the dawn of another morning on Oak Island comes renewed hope for brothers Rick and Monty Lagina and their team that they will finally make the ultimate discovery and solve the 228-year-old treasure mystery. So, what are we doing? We're pulling the casing right now from previous holes. C.5 and 25.5. Right now, we still have some gaps in the data, so we wanted to move the rig, 25P, and we're going to drill D.5 and 24.5, and see if we can repeat in the hit tunnel again. Okay, today they are drilling borehole D5N 24.5, located some 28 feet east of the mid-18th century structure known as the Garden Shaft. It is the team's hope that they will once again penetrate a mysterious tunnel that is believed to run directly westward below the shaft, and into an area that has been dubbed the Baby Blob. Over the past year, high trace evidence of precious metals has been detected throughout this region, as well as directly beneath the Garden Shaft. However, 1 week ago, there's our wood. There's our tunnel right there. After once again encountering this tunnel more than 30 feet to the east of the Garden Shaft, the team detected additional evidence of precious metals on a wood sample. This means that the treasure could actually lie buried anywhere throughout the entire region if we hit it a 3rd time on the east side of the Garden Shaft. I think that's probably enough to confirm that this is our tunnel, and we're still waiting on Dayton to come back on the woods from this side as well. Yeah. We want to verify that this is real. Because if it is, this is the reason to get excited. Right? Now it is the team's goal to not only continue tracking the mysterious tunnel in the direction of the Garden Shaft and the Baby Block, but perhaps also make direct contact with the ultimate source of the precious metals. Once the owner starts working the shaft, and they deepen that shaft, if they confirm the tunnel below is there, we can do some lateral drilling down the length of that tunnel as well. That's the way to do it. Absolutely, we have to move things around. But hopefully the treasure will be found partially. Because of it currently, Rick, Marty, and the team are awaiting permission from the provincial government to allow a mining company named Dumas Contracting, limited to extend the Garden Shaft to a total depth of 98 feet. This will not only help the team find out if the legendary treasure lies directly below the structure, but also allow them to construct lateral tunnels toward any other promising targets. We have almost singularly focused on the Garden Shaft extension and the possible tunneling associated with it. Hopefully we intercept the tunnel that we know is beneath the garden shop with this borehole. Then once Dumas arrives, we have the opportunity to tunnel, which we hope will get us closer to the treasure. Gotcha. All right. Here we go. Okay, I like this hole. Thanks. It's going in. if we have enough data to suggest that this is a continuous tunnel that goes under the garden shaft. The second phase of this is to get a sonar camera down. Yeah, it'd be great to get a camera in there and see where it's going. Perhaps this could lead to something, and that's why we gotta track this down, yeah. Yeah, we're getting closer while the drilling operation continues in the money. Pit area. Hello guys, I'm on the edge of my seat. Hey Marty. Hey Marty. Alex Lagina has joined his father, Marty, and Uncle Rick, along with other members of the team, for a highly anticipated meeting in the war room. We have C-14 results from wood retrieved as part of the sonic drill program up above the money pit, which again is closely associated with the tunnels that we have found. Marty and Rick's business partner, Craig Tester, has just received a carbon dating report on a wood sample from borehole D5. 26.5. The borehole that encountered the mysterious tunnel on the eastern side of the garden shaft 1 week ago, and which also contained trace evidence of precious metals. We're hoping that this data will confirm researcher activity in that area. So I'm going to turn it over to Craig, and hopefully he's got good news for us all. Okay, so this is where the tunnel is going. To the west, going to the garden shaft, really. And then the piece we took, we felt was the outer edge, which be the date it was cut down. Numbers come back 55.6%, from 1735 to 1804. Wow. 24.7%, 165, 6 to 1,684. So the unknown tunnel almost has to be depositor. It's not a searcher. Correct. Wow, actually those date ranges brings up in theory to me the Dudenville expedition, 1746, to try to recapture Louisburg. So that certainly falls in that range. Yeah, correct. I agree. I found 8 pages of a ship's log in 2017. Oak Island historian Doug Kroll discovered a portion of a French naval report in the provincial archives related to the unsuccessful attempt by France to reclaim Nova Scotia from Great Britain in 1746. According to the ship's log prior to the French defeat, a secret operation to hide a vast cache of valuables had taken place somewhere south of Halifax. September 8th, it has been agreed that a deep pit be dug, and treasures securely buried the pit to have a secret entrance by a tunnel. From the shore, it was carried out under the command of the Duc d'Omfave, a prominent member of the Rocheval family, who are believed to have connections to the Order of the Knights Templar, dating back to the 12th century. In my mind, there's no doubt that they're pointing right to Oak Island. Those dates are highly significant to me. This is an outlier in the sense that it's much more definitive than almost everything we get. Absolutely. Is it possible that the team has now confirmed that the tunnel running below the garden shaft, which has also been scientifically dated to as early as 1735, may very well be related to the ship's log that Doug Crowley found in the Nova Scotia archives? If so, could they have finally discovered the key to solving the Oak Island mystery? Here we have a very specific piece of data, i.e. probability window that could be associated with a Duc d'Antheville expedition to recapture Louisburg, that has always been a player, if you will. In terms of what happened here on the island, I've been working over on Lot 5, and this from 1656 to 1804. That's the same date range that we're dealing with of these hidden structures, like that round circular feature, and also that really deep location we were calling it. Site 1 since their purchase. 1 year ago of Lot 5. The 4-acre property located on the western side of the island. The team has made a number of stunning discoveries, including 3 ancient Roman coins, as well as a 14th century lead barter token, which is a compositional match to the lead cross that was unearthed at Smith's Cove back in 2017. However, They have also investigated the remains of 2 mysterious stone-lined structures, and within both of them, they have found numerous artifacts that have dated back to the mid-1700s. Enough data so 2 things come with it. 1, continue to explore. Lot 5 and second thing is you have to chase this tunnel. Yeah, way to go, guys. Okay, Doc, we will keep your prize, all right? All right, see you guys. Here comes the car, guys. Yep, 68, 68, 61 to 68. Thanks a lot. After their compelling meeting in the war room, Alex Lagana and Charles Barkhouse have returned to the Money Pit area to monitor the core drilling operation in Boral D, 5N, 24.5, a borehole that they hope will once again reach a tunnel that may lead directly below the garden shaft and to the fabled Oak Island treasure. Wow, this stuff is really soft. This is abnormally, unusually soft. 0.5 and 24. 0.5 could be very close to the structure, given the softness of this material. That's very uncharacteristic. Yeah, that's very soft. Wow, that's never soft. Look at that. When we go into an area with softer soils, saturated soils, usually the only time that happens here in the Money Pit is if we're drilling here an old shaft or a collapsed tunnel, or really any other area where somebody has done something, and certainly indicated that there are shafts in this area. Right, so again, I think we're close to something, but at 78 feet, we're still about 25 feet above our target horizon. Yep, okay, well, we will see what we can find out with this hole. Yeah, as the drilling operation continues in the Money Pit area, this is our chance to shine. Rick plot, 5, yep. Rick Lagina and metal detection expert Gary Drayton arrived on plot 5 to look for more clues that might reveal who built the mysterious stone structures located in this area and why I've gone over all this stuff. And I've got a lot of flags. I've got a dozen flags in this area. All of these spoils came from the bottom of that hole, so it should be the deepest finds. They are starting their search in the spoils that have recently been removed from a circular depression, a feature where they have found artifacts dating between the 17th and mid-18th centuries. Pretty good, yeah, pretty good. I'm in agreement, mate, pretty good. After detecting and flagging a number of potential targets, earlier today, Gary and Rick have now received permission from archaeologist Laird Niven to dig them up. It's out. Come on, let's be something good, is it? Right there. Nope. It's in my hand, which means it's small. Yeah. It's that a lead shot? Small caliber too. Yeah, it's an oldie. Very cool. Get the lead tested. I'd say it's period for the lot. All the finds we're finding, they're going way back to the early 1700s. Could be anywhere in the 1700s, or even a little bit older. It could be military, a lead shot found in the spoils, removed from the circular feature. Unlock 5, and possibly dating back to the 1700s. If so, could it be another clue? Potentially related to the Duke Dundee's ship's Long, which detailed a French naval mission to hide treasure on an island in this area. Back in 1746, right? Let's find some more. Okay, that could go either way. There, that was broken up, sounding good. That was it, a shell casing? Is it? No. It is not a shell casing? Mate, that is an unusual find. Look at that, mate. I don't know, you know. The archaeologists are over there. Should we call Ellen over? Sure. Ellen, check this out. Hey, Gary, you guys have found something. Yeah, look at this. What do you make of that? Oh, look at that. Hopefully what you have an idea of what it is. What is that? I would say it's like, you know, gun-related. Yeah, it almost looks like a sight, but it's really, really special looking. And I'm glad you went to gun because I was thinking, yeah, old guns. Yeah. I mean, to me, that looks like a gun sight, right? Could be. Yeah, that's nice. For sure. Yeah, well, thanks for your input, Ellen. Yep. Okay, we have found items that we believe have some military context. This may be another of them. Again, this speaks to an enterprise here. Could possibly been conducted by the Duke d'Anville expedition. The good news is they can be tested. How about taking this lot back to the lab? I'm really curious, that copper barrel-shaped effect, that's special. Let's add that to the database and keep going. Okay, man, back to the lab. The following morning, while the drilling operation continues in the money pit area, looks like we'll get her down there another 1.5 feet. Gentlemen, we've assembled because we are reaching a critical juncture. The very centerpiece of this year's work was deepening the garden shaft. Rick Marty and other members of the team gather in the war room for a meeting via video conference with representatives from Dumas Contracting Limited. Okay, well, you've got us all on the edge of our seats. We'd like to know latest developments. And when you're going to be out here making shaft, yeah, very good, as everyone's aware. In order to facilitate the work planned for Oak Island this year, we need to have a code of practice in place that's authorised by the Department of Labour and the Province of Nova Scotia, while the team continues their core drilling effort to track the tunnel that is believed to run 10 feet below the garden shaft. They are eager to know just when Dumos will be authorized to deepen the structure by some 20 feet, so they can personally find out just where the tunnel leads and what it may contain. Most recently, we've been updated by the Department of Labour, where they have suggested segmenting the scopes of work this year into one code of practice that would govern the deepening of the existing ladder shaft, and then a second code of practice that would enable us to go laterally and perform our tunneling work. Yeah, the plan would be to split up the court practice. Then we're definitely shooting for, as soon as possible, to get everything submitted to them with respect to the shaft deepening. Okay. Duma needs permission from the various authorities here in Nova Scotia, mainly involving safety. They have to get approval at the code of practice, which basically sets out all the conditions upon which they will be allowed to deepen the garden shaft and possibly tunnel out from it. What is your expectation regarding issuance of the code of practice? This code of practice we anticipate being issued, certainly before the end of the month, related to the shaft deepening. Otherwise, our crews are prepared, and we are operationally ready to come out and operate on the island this summer. Okay, that's all my questions. Anybody else? No, just keep your fingers crossed. Yeah, we have to respect and honour the requests of the government authorities. But if the code of practice is delayed much further, I think it certainly is going to affect all aspects of our work in the money pit. Well, we look forward to getting you guys back out here. Yeah, it's some exciting times, and we welcome your participation and efforts. Thank you very much to the entire team. We're going to do this safely. Sounds good, okay? Thank you guys, bye. Thank you. Looks like we'll get her down there. As members of the Oak Island team continue drilling in search of a possible treasure tunnel in the money pit area. Hello everybody, wow. Who's here on lot? 5 Jack Bentley joins Helen Sheldon, Jamie Kubo, Lindy Martin and Fiona Steele as they investigate a mysterious rock foundation that was first discovered 1 year ago last year when we found that deep wall. I've been wondering what this place is. Yeah, curiously, when this feature was found in 2022 by Rick and Gary Drayton, while they were metal detecting in the area, the team uncovered numerous artifacts such as pottery and pipe stems that are believed to date back to approximately 1750, the same time period as the garden shed and mysterious tunnel that they are currently investigating in the money pit. So the plan is to get the entire surface of it uncovered. It was also believed by the archaeology team that this feature was deliberately buried. Any idea yet what this might be? It's early days, yet maybe it is some sort of a homestead. But why would they bury it under so much soil? There is a lot of soil on top of it. I agree with you. Yeah, this isn't typical for any settler to do, right? To just bury their home. Still, no, normally it would have been naturally buried with the passage of time. It would have filled in. See, I kind of feel like someone might have been trying to hide something, and why we're so far away from the money pit. People did used to bury their things as well, right? Your stash of precious items. Yeah, hopefully there's a bunch of items in here. Or maybe it leads deeper. There might be clues once we get to the bottom of this. And if this is as early as we think, like even say 1750, this predates the discovery of the money pit. So it may tie into more than that. Who knows, maybe it's an encampment. Yeah, and then it's possible, and then buried them to hide evidence of them being on this lot. But there's so many coins, and from what we found, it could be connected directly to the money pit. We've only just started digging up this feature. So hopefully the finds just continue to explain exactly when it was first dug, and what it might have been used for as members of the archaeological team carefully excavate soil from within the mysterious foundation. Fiona Steele sifts through spoils with a fine screen to look for clues and potential valuables. Kel and I actually found a shard, at which I'm surprised at in that top layer. Did you really? Yeah, it's not very big. But it was just in that top layer. Just a little one. But nonetheless, it is a shard. Oh, possibly creamware, because it has a slightly yellowish tinge to the glaze. A possible piece of creamware pottery, because this type of clay earthenware could date back to the mid-1700s and predate the discovery of the money pit by nearly half a century. Could it be another critical piece of evidence to help identify who may have constructed this feature? So we'll slide the other place. Keep the separate, though. Oh, keep it separate. Yeah, okay, great find. Just wasn't expecting that. Yeah, it's exciting. Later that afternoon in the interpretive center. So what do we have today? This artifact came off Lot 5, not too far off the round feature. Maybe gun-related Rick Lagina crank tester, and other members of the team meet with archaeologist Laird Niven and archaeologist McCulligan to get their analysis of the artifact found 1 day ago on Lot 5. So it's a ramrod guide from Muscat. This would be in there, and the ramrod would come through the front tube. This would be the center tube, and it would be held in with the third one. The smooth-bore, long gun, known as a musket, was invented in Europe near the beginning of the 16th century. A feature known as a ramrod guide was designed for aiding the operator in the loading of lead or stone projectiles into the muzzle of the musket. And what type of musket, mate? That's $1 million question exactly. If it's a musket that would make it pretty old, then yeah. Anywhere from 1600s to 1800s. Yeah. But you gotta look at that patina, and that tells you it's really old. The only strange thing is that there's a little tiny hole here, which I haven't seen in others. Seems fancy, but it'd be nice to know French-British. Yeah, some nationality to that. Do you want to see the CCT image? Sure, earlier this morning. Emma processed the artifact using the SkyScan 127 3CT scanner by emitting non-destructive X-ray radiation. The device can penetrate, build up corrosion on objects, revealing clear 3D images of them, along with their finer details. This is loading the little hole just turned big. Yeah, that's a clean scan, yeah. Yeah, but you see on the top, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, it looks like there's Roman numerals. Yeah, we get those crazy Roman numerals in the U-shaped structure. Yeah, that's really cool. It looks like there's Roman numerals, that's really cool. It looks like VII In the interpretive center, Rick Legina Craig Tester and members of the team have just discovered that the potentially ancient musket artifact found 1 day ago on Lot 5 curiously bears Roman numerals. The only thing I can think of is that it could be a regiment. I guess it's an odd thing to mark, yeah? Those look like a V1111, don't it? Yeah, and we saw that in Smith Cove. Right on the U-shaped structure. Yeah. In the early 1970s, Rick, Marty, and Craig's late partner Dan Blankenship built an earthen coffin that surrounded Smith's Cove on the eastern end of Oak Island in order to drain the area and look for evidence of the legendary flood tunnel system that acted as a booby trap for the original money pit. Dan was amazed to uncover a 65-foot-long, U-shaped wooden structure that featured Roman numerals and which he believed was constructed as a surrounding barrier for the flood system. There's probably a ramrod waiting for us somewhere in that area. Is it possible that the U-shaped structure